Bitcoin is a magic technology that offers benefits to any individual or entity that adopts it.
Former CEO of MicroStrategy, Saylor, continues to remain bullish on his stance on Bitcoin despite his company's losses from its investment in the cryptocurrency. Saylor recently explained how Bitcoin could increase its value in the coming years. Stick around until the end of this video to gain crucial insight into the possibilities of Bitcoin. Saylor, the former chief executive officer of MicroStrategy, has been criticized for his unwavering support of Bitcoin, despite the fact that the cryptocurrency's price has declined by almost 50% year-to-date and by more than 65% from its all-time peak. Speaking with Bitcoin magazine, Saylor outlined a short list of prerequisites he believes Bitcoin will need to meet in the coming decade before it becomes an even more valuable financial instrument. MicroStrategy investors have gone on a turbulent ride over the past several years, and oddly, the present share price of the company is not significantly higher than its share price in the summer of 2020 when the company reported its first Bitcoin acquisition. The Bitcoin acquisitions have cost MicroStrategy a significant amount of money. As of right now, the overall value of their 129,699 Bitcoin holdings is over $3 billion, which is a significant decrease from the overall cost of their purchases, which was over $4 billion. Consequently, they are resting on capital losses of $1 billion on their acquisitions, but Saylor remains optimistic about the crypto, as evidenced by his latest Bitcoin buy. Saylor made the announcement that the company he works for, MicroStrategy, had acquired an extra 480 Bitcoins for a total of $10 million, with the cost of each Bitcoin averaging $20,817. At the current price of $30,664, the software analytics firm has 129,699 BTC, or a $3.8 billion investment. Nevertheless, the total worth of MicroStrategy's Bitcoin assets in its treasury is somewhere about $3 billion at the moment. You may get an idea of his perspective on Bitcoin by watching the video.
Bitcoin is a magic technology that offers benefits to any individual or entity that adopts it, yes. And on the other hand, the simplest way in which to adopt it right now is as a long-term store of value asset if you're a private entity and you're not subject to GAAP-based accounting. The other ways you can adopt it, they have more friction, accounting friction, tax friction, compliance friction. For example, like we can agree that it would be good if banks banked Bitcoin, that would be good. But many banks are afraid to do this due to FDIC guidance. I think today there was just a story coming out that Citigroup announced that they will probably start to custody Bitcoin. What we need is to educate the regulators, educate the politicians, and then as the FDIC and FASB and the SEC and the CFTC and the OCC and every other agency starts to understand and provide useful guidance, then all those companies will start to take much larger positions, and then the investment community will support that, and Bitcoin will spread as technology. And the best way to get them to provide that constructive guidance is just avoid taking unnecessarily adversarial positions in the evangelism or the advocacy. We don't need to end the dollar or end the Fed in order to spread the good cheer of Bitcoin. Everybody in the United States could be better off, right, without dramatic changes to the government. If there was 100x as much Bitcoin, they'd all be better off right now without changing anything in the government. So the world's full of challenges. There are a lot of things that are inefficient in the world. We could talk about them for 100 hours. The whole point of laser eyes is focus your energy. So if what is a laser? A laser is I have a certain amount of energy and I narrow my focus to a pen head, a pen prick, the narrowest focus possible. And why do I do that? So I can go the longest distance without dissipation. So every time you broaden your focus, you dissipate your energy and you lose your reach. And so the question really is, what can you accomplish and how are you going to accomplish it? You're not going to fix every company, government in the near, every bank and every government future with the Bitcoin message. I tend to look at it a different way, which is there are some entities that can adopt it now, and we should go find them and help them do it. Mm-hmm. There are some places where it's just going to be a very, very difficult or impossible. Then don't waste your energy. Don't waste your energy fighting with them. But you're not going to change their mind. Don't squander your energy. You don't have time and you don't have the energy to pick fights with people, along the road of life, right? You should just move on. Let's say I invented a fusion reactor and it generated infinite energy for $1. I can give you enough energy to run your family for the rest of your life for $1. I'm going to go travel around the world, and where am I going to be happiest with that fusion reactor? Well, I go to North Korea and they find out I have it and I'm not allowed to own things and they take it away from me and they kill me. Okay, that didn't work so well. Mm-hmm. But I have a fusion reactor. No, maybe I take it to a place where there's no rule of law, so the government just seizes it. Right? Maybe I take it to a country where there's 100 different tribes and they're all warring with each other, and so I set up and I'm living happily ever after. And one tribe hears about me with another tribe dancing, and they come and they kill me. Okay, no rule of law, no peace. I go to another country and their taxes are excessive, and they find out that I have a nuclear reactor or a fusion reactor, so they just tax me to death and I lose it. I mean, the short of it is, you have a great technology, it's magical. You want to live in a country where they speak your language, where there's a rule of law, where there's peace, where there's a police force. Like, what if your neighbor just comes over with a gun and shoots you in the head and takes your fusion reactor? Right? The fusion reactor doesn't solve all your problems. Right? The fusion reactor doesn't make Afghanistan a peaceful place to live for an American, that practices Christianity either, right? Like, there are simple common sense observations, which is, you have a technology, you go to a politically supportive place, and you wouldn't go to a country and say, I have a fusion reactor and I'm giving away power for free to everybody in the country, and I'm putting the nation's electric power provider out of business because they're evil people because they sell the electricity. That's not the best way to do it, right? You're probably better off to go to the country's monopoly energy provider and offer to set up the fusion reactor for them so that they can harness it. And part of you would say, well, they really should give away the energy for $0, but they're going to charge a penny a kilowatt hour. But if they were charging 10 cents a kilowatt hour, then getting them to lower the price to a penny a kilowatt hour is a benefit to everybody, and they get a piece of the action. And you're not a revolutionary, you're an evolutionary, you're a technologist, right? And we move forward. So I think that that's the case with any great technology. The technology is not enough for you to go, anywhere and right any wrong. And you don't really need to make it a political fight in order to spread the technology. Most people, if they see an automobile and it'll get them from point A to point B in an hour instead of walking for 2 days, they could be persuaded, regardless of political conviction and religious conviction, that the automobile is a good idea. Right? They have automobiles in a lot of countries that don't agree with American politics.
What did you guys think of Michael Saylor's point of view? How valuable do you believe Bitcoin could be in the next few years? Give us your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like and subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.